Hello, my friends. Well, that's quite a title, isn't it? I don't currently have cancer, just to, disclose that information right up front so nobody gets the wrong idea. But there was a time that I got cancer, and it's all trucking's fault. And also, it was one of the most amusing things that has ever happened to me. Yes, it's a hilarious story. And you remember that last video I put out about how truckers are crazy? We're insane. We've lost our minds. That was the setup for this video, because now I get to make a video about why cancer is hilarious, and you guys all get to come along for the ride. So the reason I decided to do this video is a lot of people reach out to me and talk to me about, videos on my old channel and stuff that was going on and how much they really enjoyed that video, whatever they happen to be talking about. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to recover a video. I just haven't put any research into it, that a friend had saved on one of their channels years ago, and I just need to figure out how the hell I get it from their channel to my channel, because they told me I could have it back, but that's a process for me to work on when I don't have a lot going on. So this was actually one of my favorite things, I thought the funniest things that happened on the last channel, and it was a whole saga of videos that unfolded over months, possibly a year, before we finally got to the bottom of it. So now I'm gonna compress it into one video to tell you why I thought getting cancer was one of the most fucking hilarious things that has ever happened to me. So yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll get into that. Of course, before we do, I have a couple thank yous from the last video for the super thanks on that video. I appreciate you guys so much. Of course, everybody that likes and comments, subscribes, and watches the videos and all that stuff. I always say I like all the comments, but I'm always lying about that, because then I have to go back and correct myself and remind you guys that some of the comments get on my fucking nerves. So I don't appreciate all the comments. Anyways, I had two super thanks on the last video. One from Mr. Slimmy for $5. Thank you, Mr. Slimmy. I appreciate that. And then another one from Jeremy for $10. So thank you guys so much, Jeremy and Mr. Slimmy, for your support. Actually, keep an eye out for Friday's video, because I've come up with an idea. We'll talk about it more Friday. We'll worry about it then. But anyways, today we're going to talk about the time trucking gave me cancer and why it was fucking hilarious. That's what we're gonna do today. So real quick, I have kind of a funny thing. If you don't mind, we'll get into that story in just a second. I was up in the Northeast, up in the Massachusetts area. Well, it's an actual state. It's not the Massachusetts area. I don't know why I said that. Anyways, I had to go back to this place. This is kind of an interesting thing with Swift, is they'll kind of get you in some tight spots sometimes, because they got customers fucking everywhere, right? So you're up there wandering around the Northeast, which is always risky, because you're on a wide open road just minding your business, and next thing you know, you got to make a right-hand turn somewhere and you find yourself in a whole fucking situation. Well, I kind of had something like that happen, and it was amusing because I was going back to this little shipper back there, this fucking rattling ass truck. It's got to go. We need a new truck. Anyways, I was going back to the shipper, and I had to make this right turn on a very small road, right? And so I did what any good trucker would do, was I took up the whole damn intersection and made everybody move out my fucking way so I could make this turn. But if you guys have ever been around that area, they normally have signs posted like no parking here to corner, right? From this sign to the corner, no parking. And the reason for that is to give guys like us room to go in and maneuver and do what we need to do to get around without cars being parked there. Well, it turns out the people of Massachusetts don't give a fuck, or they can't read, but I don't believe that even for a little bit. I believe that more to like Tennessee or Arkansas or Alabama. Those are where our non-readers are. Now we just pissed off a whole bunch of hillbillies again. Damn it. But in Massachusetts, I think they can read. I just think they don't give a fuck, right? So there was a car parked on the opposite corner from where I was making that right-hand turn. And of course, the little street light, the pole, the big wooden pole, is right up against, the other, like the passenger side of my trailer where I'm trying to make this turn. And it took me for fucking ever to make that turn without, I was just barely an inch off the car, and then on the passenger side of the trailer a couple inches off the pole, right, trying to get around that bitch. But what was funny about it, was I'm pulling this big trailer that says Swift on the side of it, right? And So everybody was out of their houses. Everybody was outside watching the old Swift driver, making sure I wasn't breaking shit and all that. And that's kind of funny that we get that kind of attention. But I got it done. It took me a while. I was blocking that intersection for quite a while. In and out of the truck, walking around, cussing, doing a little bit of cussing, believe it or not. I know you wouldn't expect that kind of behavior from me. But hey, we finally got it done. And it was, for me, shit like that is funny when nothing goes wrong, because it was just so amusing. Everybody was outside of their houses watching the big truck try to get around the corner. And then I asked for the guy there, because I was doing the GPS. It wasn't marked no truck route, nothing like that. I asked the guy leaving for directions to get me out of town, and I, you know, took notes of them on my phone. And it was such a nice drive leaving town. I'm like, this fucking GPS, why is it doing this? Like, sure, that was officially a truck route, but this is just GPS put us on the easy roads if you don't fucking mind. So that was kind of a funny story. But anyways, what were we talking about? The time I got cancer and how funny it was. So I'll start way back at the beginning, at the very, very beginning of all This Guy Trucks, before I even knew This Guy Trucks existed, before anyone knew. Yeah, I don't know why my voice just cracked right there. I'm still waiting for my old nuts to drop, you know. We're still working on that puberty thing. That's why I grow this weird beard, man. I just can't get it right. Anyways, as far back as I can remember, when I was a youngster, a little tyke, as they say. I think they say that. I'm not really sure. Does anyone say that? I feel like I've heard that. I had a scar that just ran straight down the center of my nose. I'm showing you on the camera, but I don't know if I'm stupid and I'm going to cover it with B-roll later, because I never look at what I'm covering up with my B-roll. But I had a scar that ran straight down the middle of my nose, right? And far back as I can remember, it's the grossest story you'll ever hear, okay? My parents weren't exactly doctors. They weren't medical people, let's say. And my mom would say, well, I don't know, the doctor said you slid down my tailbone when you were born. That's fucking gross, Mom. Could you not tell me that? And I gotta be honest, you guys, I would rather slide down your mom's tailbone than my mom. There we go. We just pissed off some more people with that one. The anger today is just going to be off the fucking charts. Anyways, that's what they told me. I took a little slide down my own mother's tailbone, which is, I mean, I am half redneck, so I guess it's okay. I mean, I'd rather not brag about it on the internet, but here the fuck we are, right? And I always had this scar that just ran right down the center of my nose, and it was really cool because it would like change colors. Like, you know, if I would get a fever or something, it would change color. Or if I would, you know, be out in the sun too long, but that's just called sunburn, I think. I don't fucking know. But it was like having a mood ring on your fucking face, right? You know. Anyways, that's how that became to be. Now, I never thought too much of it, right? Never really worried about it too much. It was just there, right? And then the perfect storm happened. The perfect storm was I decided to be a truck driver with this scar that runs down the center of my face, where I'm always staring out the windshield for a living, that, you know, you got the sunlight on you. And that's how this whole cancer thing came to happen. So I was in, fucking, what's that city? It's very small on the West Coast. Hardly anybody goes there. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. Los Angeles, LA. Took me a minute to remember what it's fucking called. And I had shut down for the night at the company I was working for. They had a drop yard there. So going to LA was always kind of nice with them because they had that drop yard. So, you know, there was always a place to park. So I had shut down for the night, and that's that. That's the end of that story. And I woke up the next morning, and my nose was just itching like fucking crazy. I'm like, my God, what in the fuck is going on? So I start scratching my nose. It actually is what woke me up that morning. My alarm hadn't gone off or anything. And when I pulled my hand away, I noticed I had a little bit of blood on my hand. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in my truck? I'm waking up bleeding now? What the fuck is happening here? And there's just this itch on my nose. So I got up and I, you know, opened up the camera on my phone, and I'm looking, and I got this big ass fucking ball of skin and tissue and blood on the end of my nose. It was fucking huge. And then I had noticed, oh yeah, I can actually see it with my own eyes. Looking down my nose, I can see this fucking big ball of whatever the fuck it is, right? And also, upon realizing that, I was like, I don't know what happened in my sleep. Maybe I was sleeping and I ran my nose down my mom's tailbone again. I doubt it, but I don't know. Maybe I got up and I don't know. Did I get up last night and go take a piss, smash my face into something? I don't know what is happening, but I thought it was just a scab. So I did what dudes do with scabs, and I peeled it off. I ripped it off my face, and it bled like a motherfucker. Oh, and it stung too. It had a burn to it when I pulled it off. You know, I used to carry like a little first aid kit in the truck. I don't know why I don't do that anymore, but I used to have one. So I threw a Band-Aid on it, called it good, right? And I was talking to my wife about it later on in the day. You know, I'm like, fucking, I don't know what I did, but I woke up and I had a scab on my nose. I was bleeding. You know, I don't have any idea what's going on. And she's like, well, that's weird. So anyways, a couple days had passed and I decided I'm going to take this Band-Aid off. And I had this huge ball. Again, it was back on the end of my fucking nose. And it had grown larger, right? I was a fucking YouTuber at that time too, my friends. And I had no way to cover it up. It was just fucking huge. So I start doing videos, right? And I tried to, well, I think I mentioned it in the first video, like when it first showed up. I'm like, I don't know what happened. Look at me, guys. I look all fucked up. And that was kind of it. And I had talked to my wife about it a little bit. I'm like, this thing's like getting bigger, you know? And she's like, that's concerning, Josh. Are you going to do anything about it? I said, oh, I'm sure it'll heal. I'm sure it'll heal up, right? So anyways, here's where the story starts to get funny. Here's what the amusing part of it is. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret you may not know. People on the internet are fucking assholes. Can you believe it? I know, right? So every video I made, people were just fucking ruthless in the comments. What the fuck's wrong with your nose, boy? What's going on with you? You know, did you stick your nose in a lot lizard's asshole? Which would have been a fantastic fucking story, but every video, right? And I would roll with the jokes. Okay, yeah, I get it. We're making jokes. Fine, I know. It sucks when, like, I would say that it sucks when you don't look good and you make YouTube videos because people tee off on that, but I got a whole lot of fucking physical defects going on over here as is, so I'm kind of used to being a weird looking fucker on YouTube. I get it, but it was just like, I hate when people wear out a joke, right? I'm a big fan of comedy, if you guys haven't noticed, and when people tell the same jokes over and over again, that's when I really, really start to hate that fucking joke. So I couldn't do a goddamn video without, like, just comment after comment after comment from the same people that I'd already explained so many times that, like, look, guys, I don't know what's going on with this thing. I have no fucking idea. And legitimately, I left the fucking thing sitting on the end of my nose for like a year. And my wife kept bitching at me. Like, I didn't mean to say she was bitching at me. That sounded very disrespectful. That's not what I meant to say. But she's like telling me over and over, like, go to the doctor. You need to do something. And I just wouldn't. I just wasn't doing it. But anyways, you guys know me. A kind of a thing I'm trying not to shy away from these days on YouTube is that I can be a very emotional person sometimes. Well, all the time, but I can get really worked up. But I feel like I'm allowed to get pissed off about stuff. I'm allowed to be, whatever emotion I have should be the emotion going into my video, right? That's the way I feel about YouTube now. And then I would try to kind of hide that, like, a lot. Like, I always got to be in a cheerful mood or whatever it is that, like, you know, an acceptable mood for the broader public to consume my video. And so I always tried to roll with it, right? And just be like, yeah, I get it. We're making the same joke over and over again. And then at some point, the jokes just started to turn like straight up vicious, right? Like just fucking horrible comments about what was going on with my face. And I started telling people, I'm gonna block you sons of bitches. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I have something wrong with my face. I thought it would heal. It's never healed. It keeps getting bigger, and it's a real fucking pain in the ass for me too, because it itches all the time, and if I scratch it, it bleeds everywhere. It's a whole fucking situation for me too that I'm living with. Can you just listen to my video? I'm trying to tell you something funny, asshole, and you're over here talking about fucking goddamn what's wrong with my face. fuck you. What's wrong with your face, motherfucker? Right? And I started getting really pissed off about it because, like, it was just relentless. Can you look past the fact that I'm a little fucking jacked up looking and just enjoy the goddamn story that I'm trying to tell you? Holy fucking shit. Goddamn. Right? And so I actually did. Like, I block people all the time on this channel. What the fuck are you talking shit to me for? You're here by choice. You chose to watch this video. Now you're bitching about it? Let me push this button. Now you can shut the fuck up. You're welcome. I saved us both some time. I block people all the goddamn time on this channel. I don't understand the mentality of going to a channel and telling someone how much you fucking hate them. I mean, unless you're like doing some bullshit. You guys all see this. I've been watching this for like 2 days now. It's really a wacky situation. I don't know how much you guys get involved in like the internet culture and stuff like that, but this whole doctor disrespect thing, like, yeah, I could understand if you're going to his videos right now and talking shit to him, basically because yesterday I'm not going to give you guys a whole history on that, but he basically admitted that he was at least somewhat involved in things he's being accused of doing. So yes, if he's a piece of shit and he's doing crazy shit, yeah, why not go to his channel and talk shit at that point, right? But like, just like you didn't like someone's video, so now you're all up in arms. Go fuck yourself, Karen. I don't have time for you, you know? So I block people all the time now. But people were getting straight up fucking irate with me, is what I'm trying to tell you, because I had this thing on my nose that I couldn't control, and I would try to put bandages on it. I would try to, like, I didn't like do anything weird like put makeup on it or anything, but I would try to like cover it because it was offensive to people apparently, and I had no fucking idea what was going on. But what I'm trying to get across, and I'm not sure that I'm getting that point across, it went from like, okay, let's just like bust this guy's balls about what's wrong with his face, to people being straight up irate, just fucking pissed that I was so goddamn ugly and I was on the camera, and I got tired of fucking listening to it, right? So anyways, I had decided to leave the road at that time. I didn't want to be an over-the-road trucker, and I went home and I got an over-the-road truck driving job, not over-the-road, local, and I was working the night shift, and we had to wait for the health insurance to kick in for that to get started. And first thing, when health insurance starts, my wife made me a doctor's appointment at whatever, I don't know what the fuck they're called, the fucking doctors that cut shit off of you and test to see what it is, right? And you know, so they went in, they cut this thing off my fucking nose, and then they come back to me and they go, all right, it's going to take a week or two or whatever for the testing. We'll give you a call. And what I did was said, call my wife. She was there with me. I said, call her because I worked the night shift and I'll be sleeping during the day. And she's more concerned with all of this than I am, actually. So just call her, right? So life goes on. I'm out bouncing around in my truck, recording YouTube videos, disgusting mutant nose all over the goddamn YouTube, pissing everybody off by having a problem, which is weird, but oh well. Anyways, whatever. So a couple weeks go by, and I'm sitting at home just sleeping. I was sitting at home sleeping is what I was trying to tell you. And I wake up to my wife, you know, like kind of shaking me and like saying my name, but I could tell she's crying. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I like jump up. I'm like, what's up? What's going on? Right? And she's like, your test results are back. And I'm like, okay, why are you crying? What is going on? And she goes, Josh, look, it's you have cancer, and it's not the it wasn't melanoma. That's the real nasty one, right? But then there's two other ones, and pardon me if I say these wrong because I'm just a ignorant trucker, right? But then there's like, I think it's called a basal cell, and that one's kind of pretty harmless. You just cut the fucker out and you move on with it. And I believe the other one is called something like a squamous cell. It's not melanoma, but it's not as harmless as the other one. It has the ability to spread, so they're like, we gotta bring him in and cut it out, and we gotta check those lymph nodes and all this shit. And they got my wife all hyped up, right? So she's crying, Josh, it's not just like this could have spread because you just let it sit there for a year and you didn't do anything about it, and what are we gonna do without you? We need you here. And this is the most terrifying thing. And I fucking started like screaming, but like in a happy, hysterical way. I threw my arms around my wife and I fucking hugged the shit out of her, and I said, this is the best fucking news of my life. Are you shitting me right now? It's cancer? It's fucking cancer. Like I just hit the goddamn lottery, right? Like I hit the lottery, and she's like, Josh, are you out of your fucking mind? You have cancer. Josh, why are you fucking celebrating? And I said, because I get to go to the internet now. After a year of people being so brutally vicious to me over a defect on my face. All these people people were literally trying to cancel this guy Trucks back then too. Like, did you see what's on his nose? Don't watch that motherfucker, right? One guy, like, he used to be like a really kind of a good friend. We would like chat back and forth, more in my comments section. But he was just so offended that I had cancer on my nose. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you guys something about how mad people were about this. Now, they didn't know it was cancer, because neither did I. Did you guys see the community post a couple days ago where the guy sent $2 just to tell me to brush my teeth? That's more for Friday's video. But that guy used to be a fan of old This Guy Trucks, right? And he was so goddamn appalled at this thing that was on my nose, and he kept talking shit about it. And I said, I'm going to block you. If you're going to keep coming and saying just horrible shit to me, I'm going to block you. He was so mad about this thing on my nose that here we are 4 or 5 years later, he's still spending $2 of his own money to make sure I get the message that now that my nose is fixed up, he don't like my teeth either. And that's how pissed off this guy was. But I said, listen, these people have been fucking with me for a year, and I get to go to the internet now, and I get to tell all these assholes that have said horrible shit to me that they have spent the last year of their life attacking a cancer patient. You scumbags! I have cancer, and you have done nothing but attack me and make me feel bad and all that. And it was one of the most happiest, glorious videos I ever did on my YouTube channel, as I celebrated just smashing these motherfuckers into the ground, shaming them for how they talk to me, and finding out after all that time that it was cancer. Only for me to be disappointed, my friends. Because you know what I learned that day? Is you can't shame people that have no shame. Yeah. Then they started making alternate accounts here on YouTube just to come tell me, yeah, I could have told you it was cancer, and I hope it fucking kills you. I hope that shit spreads through your body and you fucking die, you piece of shit, you cancer patient piece of shit motherfucker. Oh, and they were ruthless after that too, because none of them wanted to be like, maybe we shouldn't have went so hard on that guy that had cancer on his face the entire time. Maybe we shouldn't have went so hard on him. Now we're going to double down. Fuck that cancer patient motherfucker. And that part was disappointing. that part was no fun. But anyways, God, I feel like I had more to that. But it was brutal, though. It was rough. I had to have, I don't necessarily want to call them surgeries. I don't know that you would call them that, but they put me under the knife twice, my friends. The first time they cut it off and tested it, and then I had to go in they had my whole nose split open, right? And I was awake, and they were cutting all this tissue and shit out, and they were numbing it, and then they were burning shit, cauterizing, I think it's called. And every so often you'd feel those scissors cut through your skin and go, I can feel that, and they'd stick that needle back in there. And then it was about a month or two after that, they had me come in to cut just a little bit out again, and then retest that, only to find out that they didn't get it all the first time. Motherfuck! So I had to go back again to have my nose split open again, to get it all cleaned out. Now the problem here is I was supposed to go back another time to have it tested after that, and I never went. I never made it. So now to this day, when it starts itching a little bit, I go, fuck, here we go again, and I just don't know. But anyways, that's the fucking story, I guess. It was silly. It was fucking goofy. But anyways, yeah, I can't believe there's still people out there greatly offended that I dared to get cancer. But I have to guess that it is very much related to me staring out the window all day, and I had that scar there. So when you guys see I never get that, well, do I get that close? You see the little line? I don't know if I'm covering this with B-roll either. But yeah, I still got scars and everything there, which, like, I guess scars are kind of cool, but it's not the best placement for scars on my fucking nose. It just looks like I have a sunburn on my nose, which is the least impressive scar in the world. With that said, I got to get this video put together and start uploading it, and we're on a tight schedule today, so I got to roll. Bye now.